Hey, gang, coming up on our Finding Better podcast, Ted Kopecko is joining me, and we're going to talk about his book, Finding Joy, Journey of You. The whole idea is to live your life by design, a design that you create, as opposed to living your life by default or a life that others create. And it's a wonderful, wonderful conversation. You can do it if you're living a life you like. Great. We're going to give you great ideas to make it better. If you're not living a life that you like so much, we're going to give you lots of ideas to make your life better. This is one of those episodes that you're going to want to share with people you love. And please subscribe. But thank you for being here. It's a wonderful conversation. Here we go. Hello, 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 and welcome back to our Finding Better podcast. My name is John Suzuki, and I am your host. And this is where we share real life lived experiences of people who have been there and done that. Because, sometimes the best path to success is to follow in the footsteps of people who have blazed that path and been there and done where you want to go and done what you want to do. And so it's a wonderful, wonderful forum because we just talk about our experiences. My guest today is Ted Kopecko, and he is an entrepreneur, a speaker, and the author of a book called Finding Joy, Journey of You. Now, you can see that in his background. What the heck does that mean? He's an international bestseller, and he helps people move from the idea from being reactive in life of what he calls life led to a life of intention and joyful living, joy led life. And the whole idea is in finding greater purpose, discovering your greater value, right? And all that leads to better freedom and more freedom. It actually does work. At least my experience has been that it does work. And his mission is to help others not just build a successful life, but the right one. And Ted, welcome to Finding Better. Thank you for joining me.
Man, John, I am thrilled to be here. And thank you, thank you, thank you. Everybody who's listening, give John a huge shout out, yell a big yes, because it takes so much effort to do what you do, to put on your program and so forth, and to give a lot of value that you're doing. So, man, I really applaud you for your effort. I love your podcast,
Well,
Finding
thank
Better.
you.
I mean, John, you could have wrote the book, Finding Joy, Journey of You.
Well, I don't know about that. I know that your book is a lot about your experiences and having been through life and gone through the hard knocks. And one of the things that you say is that finding better begins with finding your purpose. I
Yeah.
think that is so cool. Let's start with that. What do you mean by that?
Well, this is actually, let me back up just a little second here.
Yeah,
I believe the reason why Finding Joy, Journey of You went to a number one international bestseller on self-help motivation, and I'm really proud of this personal transformation
nice.
and self-esteem. And that's not bragging. It's the reason for that is it's hit a nerve with everybody because the common denominator that we all have, and we'll get into this in a little bit, is what we were taught when we were young.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
that synchronization of what was downloaded to our cerebral hard drives. Now, everybody, if you're agreeing with me on this, give me a big yes and just say, Ted, I think you're on to something.
Yeah.
Because
Ted, I think you're onto something.
because in my work world, I started out as a licensed architect and had my own practice for a number of years, and actually ran a fairly successful practice. But down deep inside, it wasn't what I wanted. I
Yeah.
mean, I did all the motions. I had tremendous amount of pressure, but I knew it wasn't actually my journey.
So
Uh,
let me just stop you there because
yeah.
you talked about as we grow up, I call it downloading into our hard drive this quote unquote conventional wisdom of what success is
Yep.
supposed to look like, right?
Yeah.
And I'll just give you an example. In the classroom, I remember in my fourth grade classroom, the teacher goes around and says, "What do you want to be when you grow up?" And person says, "I want to be an astronaut. I want to be a nurse. I want to be a doctor. I want to be a fireman." All these different kinds of things. They finally came to me, and I said, "I just want to be happy." You know,
Right,
and
right.
and and some of the kids and the teacher kind of looked at me like, loser, right? And I'm like, hey, whatever I do, I want to be happy. But it's that conventional wisdom that we're grown up with that says you have to be a certain way, you have to do a certain
Yeah.
thing, your success has to look a certain way, right?
Well, yeah. In fact, if I can take that football that you're running with right now,
Yeah,
that's a great segue to actually the first chapter in Finding Joy Journey of You.
cool.
Every chapter, let everybody know this. This is a real book. I almost have to say this as a disclaimer. AI did not write this book. It took three, it
Yeah,
took 3 years to write, a lot of thought, a lot of heart. It's 400 pages, so it's not a read overnight, but it's a great read. It's a read that will change your life. And we start off in the very first chapter, and every chapter is a journey chapter, some aspect of our life, something that we can incrementally change to create a better future for ourselves. So the very first chapter was journey of mindset.
ah,
And you just teed this up for me so well. Everybody,
perfect.
we didn't practice this at all. Um, but it's a journey of mindset. When I first started writing, I went, well, who's the expert at mindset? And that was actually a lady over she's a professor at Stanford University, and her name is Carol DeWitt. I read a lot of her research and so forth, and we based a lot of our information from her work
Hmm.
on mindset. And what she said was, we're either a fixed mindset or we have a growth mindset. And not going into a lot of her research or so forth, and to kind of cut it down, we started looking at that and saying, well, maybe there's more to that. Maybe there's a bandwidth of mindset. None of us is really fixed, and none of us is really growth mindset. We're
Right.
kind of like in that bandwidth. But John, you know what the problem is? 98% of us are on the left side towards a fixed mindset. And it's because of what you just said. It's what
Interesting.
was downloaded to our cerebral hard drives when we were young. Everybody, this is extremely important. Listen up to this because I believe that the first time when we had a growth mindset, John, is the moment we were born.
Amen.
We had 100% growth mindset. We didn't know
Yep.
anything, but all we had was a smile on our face until 1 minute later when the doctor lifted us by our legs and slapped us in the butt.
Welcome to the world, baby.
Yeah, that was the
Yeah.
first indication of starting towards a fixed mindset, right?
Interesting.
It's that slap is a metaphor of how we are actually treated throughout life, right? We're put down. We can't move forward, and so forth. So, well, what happened after that first slap? Well, our parents got us, and then we were told what to do, when not to do it. Sit up, sit down, eat this, eat don't eat that, don't pick your nose, right? That went into grade school, and even though the subjects were different, we were learning different subjects, the common denominator was all the same. And that common denominator was we were sitting at a desk in a classroom of maybe 20, 30 desks. And in
Right.
front of us
Right.
was the teacher. That was our future boss, right? And we were graded on how well we did. Now, nothing really wrong with that system, but what it did do was it downloaded a highly conformed methodology to join the industrial work world.
Yes. Yes, you're
Okay.
absolutely right. Yep.
And what was the F? The F stood for failure, and when you got that F, you weren't as good. What that started downloading to us was the fear of moving forward, the fear of opportunity.
The
So
fear of failure.
yeah, the fear
The
of
fear
failure.
of
So
failure, right?
yeah, so that grade school environment went into high school.
Well,
What
that
was
sucks.
what was
I didn't think of it that way, but yeah, you're right.
and then all of a sudden what were you? You were sitting in a classroom, desk, and the teacher up in front was your future boss.
Yep.
And then from high school, if you went into trade school or maybe into college, what was the still the common denominator? So when you graduated out of 16 years of that subliminal message to us, what happened? When we graduated, we went, okay, well, I got to go get a job. And that job, that little part-time job we had in high school or college, all of a sudden turned into a full-time career or profession. Because what was happening was we were creating debt in our lives. We were creating monthly struggle. Maybe we had two dogs, maybe we had a family, maybe we had a couple cars, and we built a work world society around us that what tended to happen in our lives was we got so busy that we forgot about our own lives. We
Okay,
forgot
so
about our own purpose.
yes, yes, and that
Does
was
that make sense, everybody?
that. Well, that to me it does. And right now I'm the only one that matters
Yeah,
because I'm the only one who can call bullshit on you right now.
yeah, right.
Anyway, no, I really do like that because it is so true, at least in my experience, it has been.
Yeah,
One of the things with growth mindset versus fixed mindset, I also kind of equate it to open mind versus closed mind.
yep,
And one of the things that I really talk about a lot on this podcast is to open your mind and to really start building that muscle of curiosity,
yep,
right?
yep.
Allowing yourself to be curious because, I mean, I'll just tell you from my own life, my parents, God bless them, they're both gone. In a lot of ways, they did a great job, and I'm not too off center. Uh, I am very much off center, but not too much, I don't think. Um, but I remember my dad. He says, "Well, that's a stupid question. Well, that's a dumb idea.
Yeah,
You're never going to get far with that, right?"
right,
And and that's programming. That's programming. Excuse my
right.
French, but that shit goes into your head and it sticks
Exactly,
there, right?
exactly,
And so after a
exactly.
while, I mean, I fought the idea of that's a stupid question. I mean, to this
Yes,
day, I fight it, and I ask my damn questions anyway, right?
right.
Um, but a lot of people don't, and it's and because of that training that you talked about, it seems like our perspectives get narrower and narrower and narrower and narrower to the point to where we're kind of living our lives by just by habit,
Default. Yeah,
default. Yeah,
yeah,
perfect word, default, life by default,
yeah.
right?
And that's why the real question here for everybody is: are you life led or are you joy led? Are you job led or are you joy led? And
Mm,
most of us, because we get busy in life, we have families, we tend to forget a little bit about ourselves and about our life because
right.
most of us are working maybe two jobs right now, maybe even three. We're trying to get by. We're in struggle every single month. We're not thinking about a year from now. We're just thinking about how can we survive until tomorrow.
Yeah, we're just in
And
survival mode. Yeah.
yeah, and then what happens is that survival mode feeds upon itself because we know we'll accept struggle every month because we know what it feels like and we know at least we didn't fail. If we just do the same thing today for tomorrow, it'll be okay, and at least the bills will get paid, and we'll just do this as
Right.
our life.
Right.
Les Brown has a great quote. I love him to death. Uh, he um, he said, "You only work hard enough so they don't fire you, and they only pay you enough so you don't quit." And that's the cycle of work that we've placed ourselves in.
Say that again. Say that again.
Yeah. It's a great quote, boy.
Yeah.
I wish I would have said it.
Yeah.
He said, "You only work hard enough so they don't fire you, right?
Yep.
And they only pay you enough so you don't quit."
Yeah.
How
Yeah.
true is that? And so what happens is that reinforces the fact that, okay, it was rough today, but I'll make it through tomorrow. It's okay. And I rather stay in my comfort cave, and we'll call it a comfort cave versus comfort zone, because I like that a little bit better. You're comforted in that cave because you don't want to go out and get eaten up by a saber-toothed tiger. So you rather just accept struggle in your life than to start looking at other opportunities or giving yourself a break at least a little bit every day. And we'll talk about this as a little life hack, a little bit every day, so you can incrementally change your perspective to create greater purpose in your life. Because at the end of the day, everybody, this is the secret sauce of success, is what you want to find is find greater purpose in your life to increase the value of your time, to become valuable in a process, to help others increase their value, to have abundant freedom.
That was a lot. Very
Yeah,
simple, but that was a lot. Because I agree with you completely on it. You know, I and I think, it's funny because I feel like a lot of us, like me, I had to live through life in order to get to this
yeah,
point and this
yes,
appreciation. And getting to this point of the experience level where I was able to say that, excuse my French again, but this is bullshit, right? I mean, and maybe that's part of the midlife crisis people go through. But younger folks out there who are listening, I hope you will take this, because this is one of those shortcuts. This is one of those opportunities for you
yeah,
to follow in the footsteps of people who have already been there and done that. And avoid stepping in the cow pies, and avoid
right,
breaking your leg like we did in the voice.
yeah,
We're just do this, do what we're telling you to do. And it's just amazing, the whole idea of purpose. I just want to mention one quick thing, Ted, is that I have a purpose in my life, and it's kind of a global purpose, but it's very simple. It's to make the world better than the day we landed on it.
you
And
bet, you
you know,
bet,
and
amen.
and people go, well, I thought you had to have quantifiable, it had to be targeted, it had to be, no, those are goals. I'm talking about
Yeah,
purpose, right?
yep,
But and I live my every day with that. And
right,
that's the reason
right.
why I have this podcast and I do the things I do.
Well,
And and it
that's the
lifts people.
essence. Yeah, and that was really the basis for finding joy, journey of you. Everybody, if you didn't catch this, joy in this context is just that fleeting happiness moment coming from
Right.
Disneyland or
Right.
or a Sunday afternoon barbecue. Finding joy, the acronym for joy is journey of you. You see, joy is found in the journey that you lead. That you're, how are you directing your life? Are You're the author of your own book? How are you writing that? Right. And we'll get into this in a few minutes, but the subtitle is finding your purpose, your value, your freedom. And like you just said, John, it was so important. Finding Joy is actually a book from all ages, because no matter where we wake up in this life that we have, and in the book we call it life straighted. It's a term that we've invented for the book Life Straighted. It's frustration in life. So when you get life straighted enough, and you say to yourself, I am sick and tired of being sick and tired. Enough is enough. My purpose, my time here on playground Earth is far more important than that paycheck that barely makes my expenses, right? Then you wake up to realize, okay, where since I'm so frustrated, how do I get from here to there? And this is where most people stop. And this is where most people say, tomorrow. Okay,
Right.
I can't think about
Right.
this right
Right.
now. It'll be
Right.
tomorrow. Well, tomorrow never comes. Everybody, tomorrow never comes. You have to react now when you have the time, when life-strated enough. That's motivation to keep your life moving in a positive direction versus being stuck on the fence of life.
And that's really hard to do,
Oh
right?
yeah.
Because I mean, oh my gosh, I remember for 30 years of my life, I worked 80 hours a week.
Oh,
I
you,
mean, I mean, that was me. That was
John,
me. And so,
John, you and I are brothers from another mother.
right, but this is what we're talking about is that, we really do come from the school of hard knocks.
Yeah,
And, it's like, wow. And, you and I could talk about example after example of example of people who, from our perspective, famous people were incredibly successful. They were famous, they were wealthy, they had all the adoration from the world, and they committed suicide.
yeah,
They overdosed on drugs. I mean, it's
right.
just crazy. And Steve Jobs famously, right? It was from his deathbed that he said, "I missed it. I missed it. I was the most famous man on planet Earth, and I had a daughter."
Yeah,
And he focused on the wrong thing. So when you talk about purpose, and you mentioned in service to others, right?
right.
um so important. And my little purpose of making the world better than the day I landed on it, one of the subtitles of this podcast is, when you lift others, you lift the world.
You got it.
Right.
Yes.
And you don't have to, it doesn't have to be big stuff like giving people $10,000 or giving them 3 gallons of your blood or anything like
Yeah.
that. Right.
Right, 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 right. It's creating value, whether that's value through your knowledge base or value through something you created.
Or
To
value in your
hopefully,
smile.
yeah.
Right. I mean, you could
In fact, God, like I said, you could have wrote the book on this one, John. Uh, you could have been the co-author of Finding Joy. Yeah, and we'll even say that it's okay to go smile at somebody.
it's
It's
okay.
okay because what you're doing is more of a benefit for yourself than it is for the person you're smiling to.
Talk about that. Please talk about that.
Because you're breaking down the barriers of what you were taught. You're breaking down the the thing of getting out of your box and expanding to other people around you, right? So when you create that smile, when you break a conversation, I will do this intentionally. Actually, I look at it as like an exercise.
Hmm.
And that is, if you're in a store, always, I always go in and compliment somebody. God, if I'm standing in line and somebody's next to me, say, that is a beautiful shirt you got on. Where did you get that? You look so great in that. Because it gets you out of your shell. And you know something? You don't hurt anybody. And that person who just said that to, they may have been needing to for a human outreach.
Oh yeah. And you know what, guys? It's free. It's
Yes,
you don't want to be insincere, but if you see somebody wearing a really nice shirt, they're not going to turn to you and go, "No, it's not." Or anything like that. You don't know what you're talking about. Uh, you know, and
right,
yeah, and you're lifting somebody when you do that.
right.
It can be cool.
Well, something, John, when I wrote Finding Joy, Journey of You, we laid it out that there's a four principles of joy. And those four principles is one is mindset. We talked about that just a little
Hmm.
bit. The other one's identity. The other one's time. And the last one is direction. So when those four elements are in line, then you're working with life. Now, we go in a lot of depth on each one of those,
Hmm.
but we can hit a couple of these right now.
Yeah, let's do it.
Um, but like mindset. So mindset, how are you thinking? Do you have a growth mindset or do you have a fixed mindset? Now, again, like I said, most of us are on a fixed mindset, right? So let me tell you how can you change that programming? How can you get out of your comfort cave? How can you start diminishing your limiting beliefs in yourself?
Right.
And one of the things I think you're going to agree with me on this wholeheartedly is that very simply, very few of us read.
This is true.
It's a very simple little physical thing. Everybody take this down. because it is extremely important. And I'm not talking about just going out and reading, fiction books all the time. And so scatter your entertainment value in, but if everybody can do this, just take 15 minutes every single day. Can everybody do that for 1 year? I want everybody to make this commitment to yourself. This is your commitment. It's non-negotiable. Take 15 minutes every day and read 15 pages out of a nonfiction book.
Nonfiction.
And there's a ton
like
of
one of
them.
these.
Yes, exactly. And whether it's a book that helps reprogram your brain or makes you more aware or so forth, that's what you want to. Now, if you read 15 pages every single day, 365 days, non-negotiable, I don't care what holiday, you go to a bedroom or whatever, lock the door so nobody bothers you for 15 minutes. That's your element to start reprogramming your brain. So when you do that, something, you would have read over 5,470 pages.
Yeah, 5,000.
There you go.
Pages.
5,475 pages. Right?
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing? That's
that
18
incredible.
books.
15 minutes a day, 15 pages
Yeah.
a day.
Where would your life be if you started reading today or tomorrow? 15 minutes, mark it in the calendar, mark it 365 days down. Your life, your perspective, your friendships, everything will change.
Okay.
Everything will change across the board.
So, teacher.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to short circuit this, folks. Okay. Don't look at this as an assignment from Ted. Look at this as a gift to yourself.
Yes.
Really change that perspective. You go, oh God, I'm not going to do this. He's got 15 minutes, 15 pages. It's a gift, you guys. It's a gift. And you'll if you read, the top advice from, Warren Buffett and even Steve Jobs and who's
any one of them,
founder of Amazon, Jeff Bezos, they all say to read. They all say to read. So try it. Try it.
Elon Musk.
Him too.
How does a guy that has no really big financial background start a company called PayPal and then translate that into Tesla, who has no background really in automobile technology or electrical systems and so forth, and then transforms that into becoming a rocket scientist with SpaceX? Now, I don't care. This is non-political, everybody. So take all that stuff and throw that away.
Yeah.
Look at the success of the person and what did they do. And John, when you started this conversation up, you basically said what Jim Rohn said. Basically, put yourself with successful people that are going in the direction you want to go in, right? Elon Musk reads about 10 to 12 books a month. And people will think, well, how long has SpaceX been around for? Some people will say a few years. It's been around for over 20 years. And when he was a very young boy, he started reading about rocket ships and space and so forth. He self-educated himself. Now, we all talk about education.
Yeah.
I got years of college stuff, right?
Yep.
Probably 10 years of college. College doesn't guarantee your success.
No.
You guarantee your success.
Yeah.
It's who you are. It's how you put into your brain some of the things to change your perspective outwardly. So if you read 15 pages a day, you will drastically change your life in the course of the year. One of the other areas is identity and branding. Extremely important. How you are perceived is how you are received. Okay.
How you are perceived is how you are received. How simple is that? And how true? Yeah.
Yeah. So, when we talk about this in Finding Joy Journey of You, what is your branding? Gosh, John, these mega companies out there, Procter and Gamble or take any pharmaceutical company. You see what they spend on money every time you turn on the TV set on pharmaceutical
Branding. Yeah.
branding, right? How much do we humans spend or invest in ourselves? Almost zero, if zero. I mean, we don't hire a coach, we don't hire a mentor. We just think that we can go wing it. Well, winging it in life will keep you on the fence of life. Busyness, if you think that busy is being productive, no, it's not. It's just keeping you busy to the next day. So yeah, so anyway, branding is extremely important. So are you spending any money towards yourself? Every successful person I know, John, has a coach, has an accountability partner that will guide them through this process so they don't get lost in life, right? That they keep focused on writing their story. Are you confident or are you doubtful in your branding, right? What, however God made you, and I always say this, we're all flavors of ice cream, but we're all ice cream
Ah,
at the end
that's
of
a
the day,
good one. That's a good one.
right? So what is your flavor and how are you branding that to make a distinction between you and everyone else, right?
So just to give you folks a quick example, I made my branding a long time ago. And it was in an exercise that I learned in school where the teacher said, write your gravestone. And I took that really seriously. And I said, okay, my gravestone. I said, this is how I'm going to live my life because I want to be able to earn what's written on this gravestone. And my gravestone says, here lies John Suzuki, a good son, a good father, a good husband, a good friend, a man of God. And I have lived that. My parents are gone, so I no longer have any more opportunity to prove myself
Yeah,
as a good son, right? But that's the brand. That's the brand, and that's the brand I want to present to the world.
yeah,
And so it doesn't. You don't have to go out and spend $1 million trying to figure out what your personal brand is. What's important to you? I mean, right? Right, Ted?
right, right, right.
What's important to you, and how do you want to be remembered?
Well, I see it all comes down to purpose, doesn't it?
It does. It's
It's
right.
really
There's that
so as
word
you're
again.
so as you're reading through these great books from, you know, Finding Joy, Journey of You, Ted Kopecko.
Starting
Cheap
with,
plug
yeah.
there, cheap plug, everybody. Uh, but there's a lot of great books out there, and we talk about a number of them in Finding Joy. We give you a whole book list to do. But John Maxwell's of the world,
Yeah.
the Bob Proctor's, Les Brown, the Tony Robbins, Grant Cardone. I mean, the list is long. And
Yep.
these
Yep.
people are writing things that literally you can virtually almost get for free, right? And you go to Amazon, there's a lot of free
Yeah.
information on there that you can start looking and downloading, changing your life. So again, it all comes back down to reprogramming your brain to find that greater purpose.
And here's something that was almost exactly what I wanted to say because here's the thing, folks. Ted, there's a lot of people who don't like themselves.
Oh
There's a
boy.
lot of
Yes.
people out there who just who don't feel like they deserve to be loved. They don't feel like they deserve to have friends. They just don't
Yeah.
like themselves. And one of my favorite songs in the world is going to crack you up, but it's "The Greatest Love of All" by the late
Yeah.
great Whitney Houston. Learning to love yourself. It is the greatest
Right.
love of all. And while you and I are talking about this brand, it can be really, really hard for people, for some people who are like, it doesn't matter, right? So
Right.
even
And
more encouragement to read books. It'll change
yeah,
who you are.
it will change your complete perspective of who you are. And one of the things, and you're right, a lot of people are so downtrodden that it's hard for them to look up. And when you're
Yeah.
in that depressive mode, it's hard to move forward. One of the quotes I say is, in the book is, and I'm trying to recall this. There's so many quotes in the book that we do. Um, it was something to the effect of like motivation removes depression. Progression, that's it. progression removes depression. And
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
and and it all folks, it all starts with reading. It all starts with downloading new information because the reason why you're the way you are is from your background of what you were taught. Give yourself grace, okay? You were taught what man wanted you to be taught, right? And in some respects, not what God wanted you to learn.
You just kind of blew my mind on that. Okay, so what you just said, Ted, is that you are who you are because of what we have, because of who we are, what we have inside of here, inside of our brains and inside our heart. When you read, you're feeding more stuff into your brain. When you
Right.
read, you're adding things, you're adding new perspectives, and all of a sudden your brain is amazing. And I'm not a neurologist or anything like that, but I mean, I'm 64 years old and I'm still alive. And you know what? My brain had something to do with it. Um,
Yeah.
but when you read and I mean, there's just so much bullshit in the world right now, right? So, I mean, look to social
It's
media. If you're
it's
looking to social
complicated.
media for your news, stop it, right?
Yes.
Go get great books and feed your brain with good, healthy, productive information,
Well,
and
that's
you're gonna see a difference.
well, that's a great segue for the third pillar of
Good.
joy, and that is time, right? Time, and I'm going to say something that's everywhere is obvious. Time is extremely important. But let me break this down just a little bit for us. We all have a time bank, and I'll go through this quickly because of our time here.
Right.
But we all have a time bank. We wake up every single morning and we go to this virtual ATM, automatic time machine. We withdraw so much time every day. And the reason why this is a great example is I want it to be, I want the audience to be sensitive to the time they have.
Yep.
Because one day you're going to go to the time bank and your account's going to dwindle
It's gone.
greatly. It's gone,
You're
right?
bankrupt.
So how do you spend your time? Now, granted, you wake up in the morning, you fix, but remember, everything you do, you're spending time on, right?
Yep.
You go to your job. And everybody, I'm a big acronym person. You know what job stands for?
Go.
Just over broke,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
So you go to your job, you're working on the cheap. And I don't care what you're doing, whether you're a forklift operator or you're a doctor at a hospital, right? You're selling your time to some entity, and that entity is paying you for that one service. But and let me tell everybody this too, and I know everybody maybe understands this, but there's somebody knocking on your job door, and it's called AI,
Okay.
right? Yes.
Yes. Which
And
we could spend the next 2 hours talking about, but go.
yes.
Go.
Okay. So Dr. Hardy wrote a book called Dig Your Well Before You're Thirsty. Great book, right? That's another book you need to put on your reading list. But I forgot my train of thought. Sorry about that.
Okay. Dig your well
I,
before.
I get excited about this because what you and I are doing, and I hope everybody understands this, this is pure value for everybody to learn from and to take some of these gold nuggets and move forward with. But anyway, we all have a time bank, okay? And one day, of course, obviously, that time bank ain't going to have any more time in it.
Yep.
So, where are you at when that happens, and how are you looking back towards your life? Are you in regret? Are you bitter? Are you joyful? And are you better? Right
Okay.
at the end of the day.
So two things I want to share. Okay. First one, my aunt, my great aunt, who is also no longer with us, she once said, John, there comes a point in time when all you have to look forward to are your memories.
Yep.
So make them good ones.
Yep.
And I just went, whoa. And the
Yes.
other thing she told me, so that's the first one, guys. I mean, just remember this. There's going to come a point in time in all of our lives, hopefully, when we're all sitting in rocking chairs, we can't travel anymore. We can't do the things that we're used to doing. And all we have is our memories to look back on and make them good memories, you guys. Otherwise, you're gonna it's just ugh, ugh, ugh.
Yep.
So
Yep.
anyway, so that's the first thing. The second thing is is that she also told me, she said, you know what, John? She says, I've worked in a lot of old folks' homes, in nursing homes. And she says, you know what the number one regret is? And I said, what's that? She says, it's not I didn't make vice president. It's not I didn't make more money. It's always I wish I spent more time with my family. And that is part of the identity. So you know, talking about your ATM, your automated time machine, or
Time.
time, yeah. Um, you know, I remember being told that by my aunt and telling myself, well, you know what? By the time I get there, I will have spent the time that I want with my family. That won't be a regret. And it was about 10 years later, I landed in the hospital and I realized I could be gone today,
Yeah.
right? And the idea being, you know what? And from that moment, I said, I am never going to live my life in a way where if I find out that if I'm in a car accident and I'm terminally injured and I'm fatally injured and I've got 2 hours to live, I will be able to say to myself, I have no regrets.
Right. Right. Right.
And it's been great. It's been a force function for me of making sure that, you know, if that eventuality ever comes, that I'll be in good shape.
Well, John, a lot of this conversation comes back to let everyone know it's okay to be out of yourself. It's okay to get out of who you are. It's okay to get out of the box of life, to know that there's a greater purpose for your existence here. You just have to. I always say to everybody, God gave us all the dots in our lives. We just need to be smart enough to connect them.
There you go.
You
There
know,
you go.
John, did you also know something else? We also have what is called a time store.
A
And I
time
wonder
store.
a
Good.
time store. Besides having the time bank, we also have a time store, everybody. So the question here is, do you sell your time on the cheap? Are you a Dollar Tree store or are you a Neiman Marcus? You see, and this is all about value. How do you look at your time? Now, granted, if you may be at a job, you go, man, Ted, I hear you and John and all this stuff, but you know, I can't leave my job. No, we're not saying that. And thank God that we have jobs. It may sound like I'm against jobs. I'm not against jobs. If that's your lifestyle and that's what you want, awesome. I love you for it. And is that your purpose? That's great. But we don't want you to be at the end of life saying to yourself, is that it? Was that it?
Right.
I could have done so much. I could have had so much more. I didn't express myself the way I wanted to. So, this question is, how are you spending your time? Who are you selling your time to? What type of time store do you have? And we go into this quite deeply in the book. And it's really to make us aware of where we're going and having respect for who we are to move forward. Because, like you said, it's getting ourselves out of depression. It's knowing that we are special here on earth. Every one of us has greatness in us, as Les Brown will tell you,
Yeah,
right?
absolutely.
And
Okay.
then
Mhm.
at the very last pillar is direction. Um, and direction is basically where you're heading to. How are you writing your script? If this was 20 years from today, John, where are you? You know, so one of the examples we give in the book here or exercises, listen, close your eyes, look at 20 years in the future. Where are you? Right? Where are you in 20 years from now? What type of freedom do you have? What is your friendships? Um, how are you helping others? Where are you in your life? When you open the front doors of your house, what are you looking at? Everybody's got that image in your mind. Now think back right now to today, 20 years earlier. What would you do differently today to get to that future in 20 years from now? Right? That really highlights the direction that we're all taking. So either you have a kind of a job-led life, you're living your life out, but this is going to hit you somewhere along the line.
Right. Right.
Somewhere we all go through this,
Yep.
where that door hits us and we go, well, wait a minute, what I got, and then you get scared because you're older and you go, I don't have much more time,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
But anyway, but
There's
really,
a
really good stuff.
there similar to what you just said. There's something I learned called the rocking chair. And the rocking chair is imagining yourself when you're 85, 90 years old on your front porch, rocking in your chair. What does your life look like? What are those memories that you're looking back on?
Yeah,
And you know, take if you do that exercise and you close your eyes and you really get into that moment, all of a sudden you start writing the blueprint of the rest of your life, right? And a friend of mine, I had a conversation and we were talking, and he had recently written his memoirs. And he said, John, I recommend everybody to write their memoirs. I learned more about myself writing my memoirs
right.
than I ever knew about myself. And then I thought to myself, why don't I write the memoirs for the rest of my life now?
Yeah,
Why don't I write my book now and go live
exactly.
it? Go live it, right? And I'm actually in the process of doing that.
Oh,
And
that's awesome.
But yeah, so folks, I'm just going to summarize real quick because this has been one of the fastest hours I've ever had, Ted. This has been wonderful. We talked about mindset, right? And allowing yourself that curiosity, allowing yourself that ability to have that growth mindset, and open your mind and be
Yeah,
able to see things differently. Creating your brand. And this is something that can be really hard, Ted, is creating your brand. And again, it goes back to, um, uh, it just seems like there's a lot more people who don't like themselves than there are people who love themselves.
exactly. Exactly.
So, breaking through that and read books, starting with this, Finding Joy, The Journey of
Yeah.
You. And I'm going to
Now,
mention a comment about that in a second. But let me, and time, you got to put in the time, right? And we all have limited time here, and we don't know when that time is going to be up. And so making this a priority and the direction, saying the direction for life. What were you going to say, Ted?
no, I was just going to let everybody know that if you wanted to, you can get Finding Joy Journey of You on Amazon or Barnes and Noble. You can also go to the website. We have a great Finding Joy community that we're starting. We also have courses that we're developing and so forth. But at the end of the day, when you go to the website and you want to buy the book, that's awesome. You can get that there. You can also message me there. We also have a workbook. It's a serious workbook. It's 80 pages. It's going to take effort and was written to change your life. So it's written to accompany the book. Get the workbook. It's free. You can download that. And if you finish the workbook, right, do a YouTube reel or a Facebook reel on it. Show it to me, show it to the world that you accomplished that. Flip the pages, let me see all the answers that you did. And if you do that, we will send you a Finding Joy Journey of You diploma because I know it sounds fun, and it is, but it's a serious diploma. You hang that on your wall. It's the University of Finding Joy because you have graduated from your past life and you're going towards your future life of abundance.
Folks,
Because we're here to enjoy that for you.
so Ted, I'll tell you, you are I've had 100 authors on my show.
Okay.
And one of the things that I have done with all 100 of them is made sure, if they start promoting their book, I'm not, this is not a podcast where we promote stuff. Your book, Finding Joy, The Journey of You, is the first book that I have encouraged and I am promoting.
Well, thank you.
Folks, this is Finding Joy. Get it, because I mean, like Ted said, we must be brothers from different mothers or something, because there is so much So much. So as we talk about reading books, and by the way, Ted, congratulations. That was the best book sales pitch I've ever heard in my life. Reading, reading 15 minutes a day, 15 pages a day
Yeah.
ends up being 5,000, what was the number? 5,475.
5,475
Yeah,
pages.
pages,
Incredible.
right? And just imagine at the end of a year, the perspective that you will have. Hard to imagine, but you know what?
I'll take
What
one
books
step further,
do?
John. Can I take one step
Yeah,
further? If we all did that and we shared that one value to everybody, how would this world be different?
yeah. Well, this is part of lifting others. You lift others, you lift the
Yep.
world, right?
Yep.
And the thing that books do is that they not only inform your brain, they also inform your heart.
Yes.
And I'm not going to go into the intelligence of the heart, but the heart, gut, and the brain all have their own intelligence.
You
And
got it.
so this is Ted, this has just been such a pleasure because somebody out there is going to take this to heart, what you and I have been
Right.
talking about, and it's just gonna change their life. It's gonna make their lives totally different for the better. And you know what? And then they're gonna go off and lift the world themselves. So
Well, good deal.
yeah. So again, the website is findingjoy.us. Okay.
Correct.
Findingjoy.us. Do it. Take action. If you're sitting and here I am sounding like a freaking infomercial. And all my listeners will tell you, Ted, I have never done this before, but I'm so
Oh,
excited
wow.
about your book and about just the opportunity to really help folks. So
Well,
Ted, thank
John,
you. Yeah,
I would love to do this also. I would love to stay in contact with you.
of
Maybe we
course.
can do some, maybe we can get up on a stage together. That would be awesome because you are completely in line with, or I'm completely in line with finding better,
Yep.
and finding joy. So we could do a dual approach on this for everybody.
Yep. Yep. Absolutely. So, with that, Ted, thank you for joining me. I love you. God bless you for everything that you're
Thank
doing.
you.
Folks out there, pick up his book. This is the first time you've heard me say this. Pick up his book and make that part of the beginnings of your reading. Okay. I love you. God bless you. Please share this. Please subscribe. It helps us get the word out there and use us. Use us as your mentors because
Yep.
we've been there, we've done it. Okay. Love y'all. See you next time. Bye.
Take care.